Olá a todos!
Welcome back to our channel. In my first video, I discussed the possibility of considering individuals like Lupita Nyong'o, born in Mexico to Kenyan parents, as Afro-Latina. This sparked an intense discussion and brings us to today's topic. The term Afro-Latino isn't just a label, it represents a deep, intertwined identity of African ancestry and Latin American life. It encompasses the unique cultural, historical, and social interweavings that define this identity within the diverse tapestry of Latin America. Today, we will delve into who does and does not fall under the Afro-Latino category by examining three specific groups. These include mixed African Americans and Latinos with a non-Black parent, Haitians, and individuals like Lupita Nyong'o with a direct African and Latin American background. As we navigate these discussions, I want to emphasize that this exploration isn't about exclusion, but clarity. This channel aims to illuminate the Afro-Latino experience, distinct from others. It's important we share our perspectives and experiences to embrace the diversity within our identities. Let's begin by examining our first group and understanding the specific criteria that might align or distinguish them from the Afro-Latino identity. Group 1. Mixed African Americans and Latinos with a non-Black parent. Our first group comprises individuals of mixed African American and Latino descent, where the Latino parent is not Black. While we acknowledge and respect the richness of their experiences, it is crucial to note that their Blackness does not typically have a link to Latin America, which is a defining element of the Afro-Latino identity. Their cultural and historical experiences tend to align more closely with the African American narrative, shaped by the unique historical and social landscape of the United States. This distinction is essential as we clarify that, although we are all Latinos, the Afro-Latino experience is unique and specific. Thus, this group, while valid and respected, is not the primary focus of this channel, which is dedicated to exploring the lives and identities of those whose Blackness is rooted distinctly in Latin American culture and history. Group 2. Haitians. Next, consider Haitians, whose historical narrative as the world's first Black republic forged in a slave revolt is both powerful and unique. Despite these strong African roots and similarities with other Caribbean cultures, Haiti's primary identity is shaped by French, not Spanish or Portuguese influences, setting it apart from the broader Latin American culture. The question of whether Haitians fall under the Afro-Latino umbrella is complex. While they share many cultural aspects with neighboring Latino countries, their distinct linguistic and historical path can lead many to identify more closely with an Afro-Caribbean rather than an Afro-Latino identity. This distinction is crucial as it highlights the importance of language and colonial history in shaping cultural identities. Thus, whether Haitians consider themselves Afro-Latino can vary greatly, depending on individual perspectives on cultural affiliation and identity. Group 3. Someone with a background like Lupita Nyong'o. Consider someone like Lupita Nyong'o, born in Mexico to Kenyan parents. Her identity potentially embodies the Afro-Latino experience if her cultural engagement with Mexico, through language, traditions, and personal identification, is profound. This suggests that Afro-Latino identity can transcend simple geographic or racial categorization to include deep, personal connections to Latin American culture. However, it is essential to recognize that not everyone with such a background may feel a strong connection to their Latin American roots. The extent to which Latin American culture informs and shapes one's identity is the key factor in determining whether they can be considered Afro-Latino. For those like Lupita, who deeply engage with both their African heritage and Latin American culture, the Afro-Latino label is fitting. But for others, this connection might be more symbolic or less central to their identity. Closing thoughts. Defining Afro-Latino identity involves more than establishing who is in or out. It's about appreciating a rich mosaic of experiences and acknowledging how African heritage interlaces with Latin American histories and cultures. This channel is committed to exploring these stories, focusing specifically on those whose Black identity is intricately linked to Latin America. As we continue this conversation, I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences. Do you identify with the Afro-Latino experience? How do you see these identities playing out in your own life? Let's keep the dialogue open, as understanding and respecting our diverse experiences help enrich our collective knowledge and appreciation of our shared heritage.
Tchau, até a próxima vez!